Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. Growing up, my father used to kick me out a lot. We were dirt poor, living in a shitty townhouse in a bad end of town. I'm Asian, and as the old stereotypes for Asian fathers go, he used to be super strict about marks. Every time I got anything lower than a 70, he would kick me out. If I was late to class and he found out, he'd kick me out. If I was late coming home before curfew, he'd kick me out. No matter how much I begged and pleaded, he would toss me outside and throw a sleeping bag onto the lawn. It didn't matter what the weather was. It could be snowing or raining, and he would still send me out. I used to sleep on the streets until around 16, when my friend would let me stay over at his. I'd always come back, apologize, and he would let me back in. He kicked me out at 18, and I didn't come back home. I stayed at my friend's place and worked every day until I had enough to pay for schooling, and haven't talked to my father since. I'm 29 now and got a lovely wife and a kid on the way. A couple days ago, my mother died, and my father came to visit to apologize for everything that went on when I was younger. It felt really sincere until I remembered that he lost his convenience store about 7 years ago, and his pension had gone to shit. I asked him why he was really here, and he begged me to let him stay at our place. I went inside, grabbed a sleeping bag, and threw it onto the lawn and went back inside. My wife says I need to let it go. She said to me, "Yes, he was tough, but he would always let you back in no matter what. He loves you. He only wanted the best for you." My friends who are also Asian say that it's not even a big deal. They all say that I had it easy when it came to punishments, and that I am just a disrespectful son who couldn't see what his father was trying to do for him. I have been doing a lot of thinking lately, but like, what the F? Am I crazy, or does he not deserve exactly what he did to me? Edit. Completely forgot to add a crucial part in this post. He had been sending me small amounts of money through the mail to try and reconcile with me. It amounted to about $1,500 and is sitting in the far end of my closet. I'm probably going to return it to him at my mother's wake. OP, you do not owe anyone forgiveness, especially if they are only apologizing once they need something from you. Some may consider what you did to be assholish, but I think you're not the a-hole. It sent the message your father needs to hear, that you have not forgotten what he did, and it's just as unacceptable now as it was back then. He blew any chance of having a good relationship with you long ago. Any help you give would be charity. There is no obligation, just because he's your father, so you're free to give it or not. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Your father only tried to make amends when he needed something from you. You got married and have a kid on the way, and he didn't get in contact with you or offer any support, and it's only now that he wants something that he's trying to apologize. You owe him nothing, and just because your friends got harsh punishments doesn't make what he did okay. You have your family now. He didn't want to be your father when you needed him. He doesn't get you as a son when he needs you. Not the a-hole. Mother of God, your father abused you your whole childhood. If he wanted the best for you, he wouldn't have made you repeatedly homeless as a minor. I don't think you have much to gain from letting him back into your life or near your child, besides which he only apologized when he realized he might be homeless. Beware the people who only say sorry when they have something to gain. Not the a-hole. In addition to financial support, he probably wants someone to cook and clean for him. Your wife may think you're being mean, but there would be problems in your marriage if you let him live with you. Story 2. So my best friend and her boyfriend had a vacation planned out months ago that was supposed to take place this coming weekend. They have an 8-month-old baby that couldn't go with them, and my friend just kind of assumed her parents would take care of the kid since they already have custody of her other kid. She casually mentioned this to her parents for the first time today. Her parents told her no, it wasn't going to happen, and she got upset and raged and texted her boyfriend about it. He told her not to worry about it, he would figure it out, and he called me, since he knows how close my friend and I are, to explain the situation to see if I would be okay with watching the baby for the weekend, but they couldn't pay me to babysit. I told him that wasn't a problem, I can help out. My friend lost her shit when he told her this, basically saying that because I don't have any kids of my own, I can't be trusted with them. I get that she's the mother, but this was really hurtful. I'm not some irresponsible teenager. I've been with that kid almost every single day. The three of them lived in my house, rent-free, for the first 6 months of his life, and I was constantly helping them take care of the kid. And I even helped them buy diapers, clothes, formula, and other stuff because they were struggling. I told her that it wasn't really a big deal and I can handle the kid great. She just started getting all patronizing and talking down to me about her mother's intuition. That's when I cut her off and told her I didn't have time to listen to that shit coming from someone who lost custody of her first kid because her mother's intuition told her that leaving the kid alone and locked in a room all night while she went out partying was the best course of action. Then I hung up on her. A few hours later, they tried backpedaling, but I told them that it's not happening and good luck. Now I'm getting my phone blown up by mutual friends lecturing me about how what I said was out of line. But was it? OP, I believe you could have dealt with the situation better, although I feel like your response was more of an emotional response because you were hurt by what she said, and I bet you were really angry at her words, which I can understand. Your friend acted like a child. She cannot just assume her parents will take care of her youngest child whilst also having custody of her eldest due to her own neglect. To then belittle you when you're trying to help after you'd already given her family a roof over their head and provided for the child was completely out of line and was a very hurtful thing for her to do. I would honestly advise you reconsider your relationship with your friend and her boyfriend. They are irresponsible to say the least, and I think you deserve better friends. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. I would have reacted the same way. If someone said this to me after doing even half of the kind things you did for her and him, then I would be hurt and angry. I wouldn't allow them back in your life. Don't watch the child. What an ungrateful person. Not the a-hole. Of course, they will try to backpedal and get others involved to guilt trip you. Free childcare plus you help them with other things. That's incredibly generous of you. It's the MO for users to berate people, lash out and expect things. Considering she made plans and didn't even think to ask the people she was expecting to take care of her kid before making these plans, it clearly shows a lack of regard for others. I think you are a generous and thoughtful friend and they don't deserve your kindness. Let me get this straight. Your friend's baby is 8 months old. They all lived with you until he was 6 months old, so they just moved out 2 months ago. You helped them buy shit because they were struggling. Now they can suddenly afford to take a trip that they've planned for months, presumably all those months while they lived with you and you were buying diapers. Your friend lost custody of her first kid because she left him alone and locked up while she partied and is pissed at her parents because they won't babysit when she didn't even ask them to in advance. And now all your other friends think you're the a-hole for getting pissed when she doesn't trust you. If this is the case, then you're not the a-hole and you need new friends. Story 3. I hate some of my dad's friends. One guy in particular is my dad's former carpenter. He's a super uber Christian and is a raging homophobe. I don't mean like, ooh, I disagree with gays politically, no gay marriage, sanctities of marriage. He literally talks about gay people dying and burning in hell gleefully. He has mentioned how gay marriage will lead to sex with children and animals, and has said Russia has the right idea with the gay bashings. I have expressed to both my parents how much I hate this guy and his homophobe wife, but they continue to invite these people to our house and force me to interact with them. So Carpenter pulls me into a conversation I don't really want to have at the party. I told him about college apps and going to Cape Cod this summer with my friends. He commented, "Oh, God hasn't burned that place down or thrown it into the ocean yet." I was super mad, so I responded, "Guess I didn't notice. I was too busy having sex with other girls." I apparently was really loud because a lot of people looked over. My dad immediately ran up and started doing damage control. Mostly, "Oh, teenagers say the darnest things, lol, how silly." But both Carpenter and his wife were mad at the disrespect and left. Now both of my parents are super mad at me, But I'm mad at them for forcing me to play nice with this guy for so long, even though they've known I'm a lesbian for years. Am I the a-hole? OP, you're not the a-hole. Your parents suck for even allowing this man in their lives when he would so openly disrespect who you are. I can't imagine having a gay child I claim to love while allowing someone who literally thinks she should die be in my life in any capacity. That being said, what you did definitely wasn't the best way to announce to someone you're at a Christmas party with a lot of people standing around who weren't involved. You have no idea how many homophobes might be in the room and what their thoughts are. It's good to be cautious. Now for some comments. Another beautiful quote from MLK to share is, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." Your parents knowing you are gay and putting you in situations to be with these people make them complicit in their words, not the a-hole. I'm not gay, but I have been drawn into gays are bad conversations quite a few times. The bottom line for homophobes is they use the Bible as justification. But when you tell them that the Bible also says do not eat pork or shellfish, do not have tattoos, do not go to church if you wear glasses, and do not trim your beard, I assume that refers to men. They revert to circular logic and finally get mad and stomp off when you tell them they can't pick and choose which Bible verses to obey. Bottom line, it's not worth it to try to convince a religious person to change. They will not. Yeah, F this guy, and honestly, F OP's parents too. This is unacceptable and something I am very passionate about. I am straight, but I have very close friends of mine who are not. When my state was voting on allowing gay marriage and my dad started spouting off about how it shouldn't be allowed and blah blah blah, I freaking blew up on him. I literally told him to say to my face that X person's marriage was less important than his own because he knows people who are gay and married. He wouldn't do it due to his pride, but he learned to never ever freaking bring up that topic around me. I may not be able to change some people's minds about the actual topic, but damned if I allow my family to talk that way around me. Never be afraid of being who